Hey everyone! So what we're looking at today is lesson 8, area of triangles. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So composing parallelograms. Here is triangle M. Han made a copy of triangle M and composed 3 different parallelograms using the original M and the copy as shown here. So we have our original triangle here, and then he moved it different places. So here he put the long sides together. Here he put this side together and kind of flipped it over, and here he did the shorter sides together to create 3 different parallelograms. So for number 1, for each parallelogram Han composed, identify a base and a corresponding height and write the measurements on the drawing. So for the first one, the base would be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be base equals 6. Now, we also could have used the height, or we also could have used this other side as our base because of the way this one is laid out. We can have the base be either one. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So our height is 4. Now, for this one, our base is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because remember, it has to be parallel to our perpendicular. So on this one, we aren't given the different options for which could have that perpendicular height. We only have the one perpendicular height, and that is right here. So this is our base. So we have a base of 4. And we have a height of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So height equals 6, and height is this line here. And for the last one, same thing. We're limited on what we can choose. This has to be our height because it's the perpendicular between the other two sides. Our base is never going to be the diagonal in these. So our height is 1, 2, 3, 4. So height equals 4. And then our base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So base equals 6. Okay, so for number 2, find the area of each of the parallelograms Han has composed. Well, 4 times 6 is 24 units squared. 4 times 6 is 24 units squared, and 6 times 4 is 24 units squared. So being as we use the same triangle to compose all of these and we put them together, they're all going to have the same areas. So they're all going to be that 24 units squared on this. And remember, we include the squared. All right, for the next thing, more triangles. Find the areas of at least 2 triangles shown below. Show your reasoning. So being as we know, we can take and put 2 triangles together, or take the one triangle and form a parallelogram with it. We can take and find our area and then divide it by 2, since it takes 2 to get that. So here we can extend, or we can add this line here all the way out, bring it down. So there are our 2 triangles formed together. So we have a height of 2, and we have a base of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 times 8 equals 16, but then we want to take and multiply that by 1/2. So we end up with 8 units squared for our area. Now, B obviously is an interesting one. We can split this triangle into 2 separate triangles to then form 2 separate rectangles here. So for the height, we're going to have a height of 3 each time. So 3 times our base on this one is 2. So 2 equals 6, but we need to multiply that by 1/2 because that'd be the whole rectangle and we need half of it. So we get 3. And then for this one, we also have a height of 3, but we're multiplying it by a base of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we end up with 15, which we multiply by half, because once again, that's only half of this full rectangle. And so we end up with 7.5. So now we take 7.5 and we add 3 to it to get 10.5 units squared for the original shaded triangle. Now, in both of these cases, we took and made other triangles to then simplify this down. What we should notice is these triangles are half of the parallelogram. If our area for a parallelogram equals base times height, and this is parallelogram, is area equals base times height, and a triangle is half the parallelogram, our formula then for area of a triangle, so area of triangle equals area equals 1/2 base times height. So once again, we need the perpendicular height though. So for this one over here, we're going to extend the height down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to get that perpendicular. So we extend the base so we can find the perpendicular height. And so our height is, who just said 2, 3, 4. The base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so area equals 1/2 times 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So 1/2 times 20 is 10 units squared. Now, to show you this will work on all of them, so it's obviously we just did this one different and we got this value. To show you that it'd work for this one over here, we knew that the height was 3. This bottom is 7. 3 times 7 equals 21. Multiply that by our half, and we're going to end up with 10.5. So it will work, and in a lot of cases, it's a little bit less work, because obviously here we had to draw it out, find this rectangle, divide it by 2, each of them. This is a little bit simpler. So for this one here, now this one you have to be careful with. Once again, we're going to have to extend our perpendicular height. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to make it go from the base to the topmost point. So it always has to be from the base to the topmost point for our height. So we just said that was what? 3, 4, 5, 6. So area equals 1/2. And we've got a height of 6 and a base of 1, 2, 3, 4. Base of 4, so 1/2 times 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 1/2 is 12. So 12 units squared for that. So once again, your formula for area is this right here. Make sure you know that. It's something you should memorize. You should know the area for finding the area of a triangle. You should know that formula. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Your keyword is area. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Bye, guys.